day.
But like now, if you can tell me, Ndu,
Round two.
Just come here. Lie down here, close your eyes. Close the curtains, just sleep. I cannot refuse.
It's in your life.
I cannot refuse.
It's Friday.
It's Friday.
No.
And the weekend's here. So we're getting into things. I'm glad to know that you're fine. So Friday, and Ndu and Dennis with you. The other Dennis Okari is in Pakistan.
Yeah.
So
Taking Ashagwanda.
So we just continue taking, and you know it's not a lie, because Anamezanga is of it too. Just confirming that everybody's doing okay on getting into it this Friday. It's the 26th of September already, and September's telling you guys, I'm not your mate. October, November, December, boom, and before you know, 2026, and that's how we play. So with that, we'll have a couple of conversations today, and let me tell you what that will be in just a bit. When we say good morning to EVE, she's looking all floral with pink around her neck, and Joylene has been looking for coffee. Oh, look at that. She has even done the tan.
I know.
EVE, boy. Oh. Shocking people every day. Somebody please help Joylene and find coffee. Because she's not doing okay, guys. She's not okay.
Mwakirani, Mr. Mwakirani.
Mwakirani to the rescue. She's not okay. Today, I'm sorry, but the Kofia did not show up. We were trying to see how we can make things work, but Christina's disappointed us gravely.
Yeah.
But she'll still try to make sure that you see the show through the day. So those are the people who are doing things in the background. Rio came to the office today and then did not want to do his work. We are reporting him on national radio and TV and letting the world know that he has declined his duties. Kabisa.
You know what Ken would say? Hii ni maajabu, ni vitu utaona tu duniani tu.
Duniani tu. Vitu unaona duniani tu.
Yeah.
Hapo ndio tuko.
Yeah.
So good morning, everybody, and welcome. This is The Situation Room. It's Kenya's biggest conversation. Ndu and Dennis here with you today as we get into things. There's some conversations that we will have. Indeed, our live streams are up, YouTube, Facebook, and on X. Everybody gather around and let's have this conversation. Our audience on KTN is right here. Wherever you're tuned in, around the nation and indeed the region and the world, we're bringing conversations to you one at a time, and let's have them and talk about them, right? So we're going to start off today with a conversation around food culture, rather food security, food culture. What exactly is going on? Are we at a loss? Are we feeding people, not just putting food in your mouth, but are we actually getting the nutrients that we need? So it's a food conversation at 7, and then we're going to look into the week that was at 8 o'clock, and we'll do that with a number of youth leaders in the country. So that conversation we will have at 8. And then we're going to round things out at 9 o'clock with our Healthy Friday conversation around dementia. You may not know it, but dementia is a thing. And there's early onset of dementia. You'll have people in their 40s. Scary fact. People in their 40s with signs of early dementia and what is causing it and how to actually deal with it. We'll have that as our Healthy Friday conversation at 9. All right, so that's what it looks like. Food at 7, the Weekend Review at 8, and then Healthy Friday at 9. Thanks already for joining us. And let's get more folks into the room and let's click into this conversation as we end the week. Sawa sawa? All right, so we've been in Côte d'Ivoire.
Yes.
Tell us.
So we've just found out, rather established, that Côte d'Ivoire is the home of cocoa, that the reason why we enjoy chocolate, right? They also produce coffee. They also have exports in terms of sportsmen and women, and among them Didier Drogba, who also happens to sit in the football governing body of the country and is doing amazing things in that country. We also have Yaya Toure, who played for Arsenal at some point and was equally a very good player.
Yeah.
You know? Yes, and then you have Gavinho. Gavinho, one would assume, sounds Italian. But simu Italiano, na simu Chinese.
Yeah.
You know, anatoka wapi? Ivory
Coast.
But also one thing that they've given us is our proverbs. And the proverb today...
Roger, you're forgetting that there's some 2 female athletes that have actually dominated the 100 and 200 meters from Africa are Côte d'Ivoirians.
Côte d'Ivoirians?
Yes. There are 2 of them. There's Ahure and... I'm going to remember her name in a minute, but she's been there. She's come in second place, third place, quite a lot for over the last few years. I have to remember her name. Just a minute. What is it? Goof. Wait. I'm now just...
Let's see.
Talu. That's her name.
Kafu and Kala. And
So there's Ahure, who's from Cote d'Ivoire, and Mary Jose Talu, now Smith, was running shoulder to shoulder with Shelley Ann Fraser, and I guess she's lifted the... So it's not just the men in football, it's the women on the track. Sawa bas. Okay, carry on, please.
Gender equality. We agree. Sini life. Sini sawa. So tuende kwa proverb.
Sawa.
The chameleon looks in front and behind before walking. The chameleon looks in front and behind before walking. How would you interpret that?
Oh, wow. All I can think about now is the chameleon. This is interesting because the way the chameleon moves, it's almost like it's doing this as it's walking. And then apart from that, it's got these eyes that can rotate. I think the eyes can do a 360. One can be looking here and the other one can be looking here.
True.
And I guess in order for you to move forward, you have to have a little bit of history.
Yeah. Whatever
it is that you're doing, you have to... Where have you come from in order to chart the path of where you're going? And you can't just keep moving forward. You have to know, you have to have it on some kind of history. There's got to be some kind of foundation in order for you to go in a particular direction.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, there's the aspect of caution, So before I make this step, is there something behind me that I need to be aware of?
Yeah.
So just being careful where I'm going and also where I'm coming from. Because most of the time, even when you're being attacked, it's always from behind. So just being careful and cautious on the steps you're taking.
Yeah. Your back needs to be covered.
Thank you.
Even like when you talk about that's interesting because even when you talk about like who's got your back, it's behind you that needs to be covered because you need to know that something is behind you in order for you to then be able to move forward.
Even when you look at the photos that usually do round, especially during a breakup, when someone is hugging you, they have a knife behind you. So it's just keen and careful to know what's behind you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the stuff that we're looking at. Good, probably. Good to hear what people have to say about that today. Okay, so watch it. Salimia Watu. Everybody's clicking into the room this morning and already good to have you. Indeed, it is Friday, and I just want to say thank you for everybody who clicks into the room and joins us day in, day out. Many, many people online this morning. Good morning from Mombasa, this is Peter Kiarie. Do everything with a good heart and pure intention and with no expectations, and you will never be disappointed. I agree with that, and thanks for that, Kiarie. Don Sabo says, please ask Okari. Well, now we will ask him on Monday, but we can read what your question is. Was the highly hyped, expensive US marketing firm strategy for Kenya a flop? Given that he didn't receive a standing ovation, but a death what? How are you? Aseto the dancer.
Freshie.
Bas. All right. Good morning and happy Friday from Mombasa, says Robertson Bogo. Rose Grace is also tuned in this morning and says, Sikunjama Nyote. Thank you so much. Sikunjama Wote. Jeffrey Nicholas says, good morning, Njo and Dennis. Good morning to you. Isakale says, good morning. Is it true that in Kenya, grief now observes GMT, apparently, that even condolences come with a press release and a time zone disclaimer? Apparently. Kisa Daniel says, good morning. Ijuman Jema kwa ndugu zetu Waislamu. Good morning. Asante sana to everybody. Thank you so much. Leo says, good morning. Now that kids from grade 4 are doing KNEC exams, the KEPSEA exams, okay. How does that integrate with CBC as a continuous assessment model? Okay, I'm not quite sure what you mean by that, Leo. But so the grade 3 exams, it's a KNEC exam, but essentially it's within the CBC. And then you have another one that's written at grade 6. So I'm not quite sure which one you mean here, but yeah, we get it. Samuel Juma says, hello, my good people tuned in from central Finland. Keep doing the good job. Margaret Wanjohi says, good morning, friends at Spice FM. Tuning in from Houston, let's continue the great conversation. Happy Friday and have a great weekend. JB Mutua says, good morning. Happy Friday, Spice family. Tuned in from New Jersey for today's discussions. Ndu and Dennis, I hope you don't have any timing synchronization issues. Shindo, we're here. Good morning, says Christina A. It's Friday. By the way, since last Health Friday, I've been trying to brush my teeth in a circular motion. Well done. That's what we're told works.
Yeah.
But it's not my thing. I've never tried for 20 years. It's very difficult. Yeah, well, maybe there's no time to change but the present.
Yeah, I think the more you do it, the more you get used to it. It
Absolutely.
becomes normal.
It becomes normal. Finally, Friday, says Agole. Gagola. Good morning, good people. Good morning to you. Zach OK says, thank God it's Friday. Bernard Kiniti says, good morning from Alabama. Ndu, could you please bring in Nganga Mwegai? Okay, if he is working on it. Sindo, am I lying? No, I'm not. Okay, she will. He explains that Constitution so clearly that even the simplest amongst us can understand it. All right, well, let's look into it. Friday, good morning, Friday clubs. All right, King Dave, we see you. Good morning. Mashari and Jerry was tuning in this morning. Someone needs to know that in Kenya, you are 7 hours ahead of New York. Okay. Sour. Eric Owar says good morning. Ouma Oyamo says good morning. Morning team, we're heading to NDC for Jubilee. A lot of things are happening. Party primaries here and there. National Delegates Conference. Collins Munyaka says, good morning, tuning from Nyeri. Hello from Kuala Lumpur, says Peter Goge. Dan Stilangat is tuned in. Good morning, Chebabe. Good morning, Chebai Bay.
Bye bye.
Asante Sana. Good morning, Aseto. He says, Kip Kellyon is listening. Duke FX says, good morning. It's almost the weekend. And Bwangi Juma is tuned in and says, how are you this blessed Friday? We're doing well. Isaac Gilumba says, good morning, team. Deno and Ndu. Josh Willie says, I love your show. God bless you. And to you as well. Ivan on Monday tuned in and says, happy good morning, Spices. Lilian Atieno, good morning, team. You're off air in Kisumu. Allah? 102.4? Why?
Should 102.4 or 102.5?
I don't know.
I think it's 0.5. But yeah, we will have the technical.
Be 102.5 actually.
Yeah.
All right, Georgia Koth says, good morning. It's time for the government. Is it that the government cannot communicate with its employer or just out of touch? Good question. Tune in from Miami, Florida. The chameleon cannot pass the test of Lutu's wife, says Bwanki Juma. Good morning from Isiolo, says Nasir Ansar. Spice FM is addictive. Those are the kind of addictions that we like. Soldier Boy is tuned in this morning from Atlanta. We now see the president decided to report on obituaries and high forum meetings. That actually took... was a thing, yeah? Especially when the folks don't know this is a problem.
The insensitivity, man.
Yeah.
That guy has a family, man. Like, the people, and also expectations in terms of... I also hope that...
I mean, I want to know. I want to know, without the glare of the world, if my loved one has passed on. I want to know, especially since they were in such a high-octane situation.
Yeah.
I would want to know. And I think the way in which this was handled was unfortunate.
Yeah.
Kids are doing KNEC exams. Yeah. It's okay. So there's a grade 3 assessment. There's a global assessment that takes place in grade 3, another one in grade 6, another one in grade 9, and then the final one in grade 12. That's how it's now been demarcated. Michael Gashohi says, good morning, tune in from Sigona. Where is Sigona? Sounds like a place I'd like to visit. Peter, we see you. And good morning to everybody. As you keep joining us today, just tell us that you're here and definitely acknowledging your presence as we get into these conversations this morning. All right. Let's look into the headlines today. And we're going to start off by looking into onto the front page of The Standard, Kenya's bold newspaper. A disturbed man is what's on The Standard. The Anglican Church has torn into the Kenya Kwanzaa administration, accusing it of hiding behind statistics, while Wananchi remain trapped in economic despair. Archbishop Jackson Olisapit warned that the government's handout-style empowerment schemes are fueling frustration instead of easing joblessness and the high cost of living. A new Infotrack survey backs the church's position, with 57% of Kenyans saying the country is on the wrong path, citing overtaxation, corruption, poor healthcare, and youth unemployment as proof that official claims of stability ring hollow. These are the issues raised by the church: unemployment and youth despair, constitutionalism and governance, our economic outlook and corruption, human life and dignity, health sector challenges, education crisis, church governance and policies, peace and political stability. Pollster findings say that 57% of citizens who believe the country is headed in the wrong direction. And according to this as well, causes of high cost of living, taxes 40%, global factors 19%, government policies 16%, corruption 14%. Pessimism drivers, high cost of living 66%, unemployment 30%, poor governance 15%, Shift Shah not working 15%, corruption 14%. And I quote Jackson Olisapit, the ACK Archbishop, the level of unemployment among our young people is worrying and creating a sense of despair. The persisting culture of extravagance at both national and county government levels remains worrying. So we saw that come out, and the church is taking no prisoners here and saying, fix it. That's it. Mm-hmm. We'll look into more details. Include us in the compensation committee, protest victims urge. They said we were the ones who were whatever.
Yeah.
Put us on the thing. Put us also on the committee. Let us have a representative. Now, there's a CEO who was texting and doing things on his phone. And in a message, now he has to pay 1.2 million shillings. What am I saying? Flirt text, lewd clip, snare CEO and cost him 1.2 million shillings. One night stand, WhatsApp message and a sexually explicit or hangler video sent by an IT company's chief executive officer to a female employee following a night out has cost his firm 1.2 million shillings. I know you want to know about it. So as we continue with the headlines, we'll come back and tell you that story. Just hang on. Bishops say drop in price of unga is not enough as Kenyans struggle. You cannot tell us that you have dropped the price of unga and so now therefore the cost of living has gone down. I mean, come on.
You know, it's fine. The cost of unga has gone down, but taxation has gone up. So at the end of everything balances.
There you go.
I'm pretty much the same position where I was. You know.
There's another story here. State stalls on paying media 864 million shillings. Akisi tafadhalini. Si tunaomba tu rokiro safi.
Fanyeni ile kitu.
Simtulipe tafadhali. Hiyo tu. Just please find it in your heart.
Able read that headline again.
State stalls on paying media 864 million shillings debt. Sasa tunaomba tafadhali. Simtulipe ndio sasa nini. I'll read the story again, but yeah, I'm asking you from my heart of hearts. Have mercy. Jubilee to decide its fate today as Uhuru leads delegates conference. That's happening with Jubilee. It will be interesting to see what they come up with at the end of the day. There might be what you people are saying will be shockers.
Yeah.
But let's see.
This one will not be earthquake.
Earthquake. I'm still waiting for that earthquake. The one that we told it was going to be Vuguru, what?
Vugu.
But you.
I said that was an earthquake in 2022.
It happened.
You didn't see it?
To me, I'm wondering.
Ah, okay. Yeah, but you know, the earthquake ended up with that party folding, so.
Okay. So that was the earthquake?
I think so.
Sour.
But it's in life.
Police admit officer died in Haiti, claimed relatives were briefed. Excuse me. A woman was crying in the way in which she was crying. Does that look like somebody who had been told before that her husband had died?
You know, we've seen how the government as well has handled the previous officers who died. And we saw the processes that followed. The government actually came out in a press conference. We saw how the bodies were repatriated back into the country. That never happened on this individual that you're talking about right now. So there's, I mean, guys, just admit here you've blundered and take your L and live with it.
Blundered is a better word than the one that you were going to use.
Yes.
Thank you for using blundered. I was looking at you. I was praying to God in heaven.
No, I wanted to say they faulted.
You want to say they faulted. Sour. Yeah. Believe you.
Yeah. You know, blunder comes with a punch. Blunder. Faulting is a bit...
Faulting is too soft?
It's too soft.
Sour.
Yeah.
I know. So, I mean, come on. You can't tell us that she knew and then she was weeping in the manner in which she was. Come on. IEBC rules out boundaries review before 2027 and seeks 57 billion shillings for polls. The Attorney General had actually come before Parliament months ago and said, you know what, this boundary review that we are thinking will be done, it's supposed to be done every 10 years. This time, and it's due in 2026.
Yeah.
It's due, but we're not going to be able to do it because of who knows. So, Ethicon has essentially come out and said, boundaries review, OTEC small, cannot happen. But while you're at it, we need some 57 billion for elections. So, take it. Looking for the monies. That's
So what
it kind of-
happens to what the Constitution demands that you do
Which constitution?
on the review of boundaries?
Just hold on. We'll come to that later. For now, we need 57 billion.
Yeah, okay.
Even if we don't review the boundaries,
Yeah.
we are still here.
Situkwapa.
We're living.
Hatuna time.
Bas, thanks. All right.
Okay, vipengee vya constitution vinaweza tulia. Okay, let's go to the Daily Nation, all right? So, whistleblower on SHA fraud loses job.
Why?
Yeah. Andrew Rotich, the auditor who unearthed an alleged medical billing racket that prompted the closure of 1,300 rogue hospitals, has lost his job at the Social Health Authority. Appointed the Deputy Director Forensic Audit and Risk Assurance in April this year, he is not among shortlisted candidates for fresh interviews for the post. So you make noise in the interest of Kenyans and so that SHA works well. What happens to you? Lose your job. Yeah. Here, a gift for you. And Kenya-France relationship. President William Ruto gifts his French counterpart Emmanuel Macron a Kenya artifact during bilateral talks on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly in New York, USA. The leaders announced that Kenya and France will co-host the Africa Forward Africa-France Partnership for Innovation and Growth Summit in Nairobi in May 2026. The summit will bring together African and French heads of state and government as part of the renewal of relations between France and African nations. I'd really want to know if the Francophone countries from the region would actually attend. This includes Burkina Faso, the Sahel countries, the Gambia, if they will really be in that meeting. And how, and in terms of diplomacy, what this meeting would mean to these other African states who are now walking away from France, you know. Wait and see. Why IEBC won't create new electoral units ahead of 2027? Tumesema wanataka bilioni ngapi? 57. Sema
Yes.
57.
57.
Yes. Now, thugs in uniform, police officers arrested in suspected robbery ring. Now, minor held for violating Kenyan flag. The two boys have actually been arrested, and we wait to see the next course of action that we will be taking. Are they minors? That's the first question we need to ask. And after that, how then will the police proceed with that? Now, 4 seized as detectives probe puzzles of woman's body delivered in parcel. Remember the story we were talking about yesterday? Now, detectives in Muranga have arrested 4 people after a taxi driver on Wednesday delivered a woman's body disguised as a parcel to Kangari police station. In custody so far are the victim's estranged husband, 2 of her sons, and the taxi driver. Her sons?
Aye? Just say that again.
2 of her sons, the taxi driver and the husband, are among those who have been arrested.
Aye? Okay. With that story, we're going to open it up a little bit
Yeah.
and see exactly what's going on there, because this one is strange.
Yeah, and the Kino officer killed in Haiti, accused state of heartlessness, and House team supports petition to decriminalize attempted suicide. Yeah. So, you look at this star.
All right. So, here we go. On the front page of Star, there's a highlight that we're looking at their report. Big trouble in Kenya's top hospitals. That doesn't stop from being the main of the story. And fresh dispute between police chiefs. Oversight agency throws police hiring into disarray. They're still like a dog with a bone. They're not letting go of this thing. And so it's between the National Police Service and the National Police Service Commission in terms of who can hire. IG Douglas Kanja was asked to hand over the payroll to the commission. That hasn't happened. They're saying, okay, so how do we hire? They're still saying we're at loggerheads. Now or never. Declares Kalonzo as opposition braces for storm. This is the time, he says, that we need to actually get this done. In terms of what an opposition will be and in terms of who will come in to form opposition leadership. Deepening rift scuttles police recruitment drive. That's what we're looking at. DCI arrests suspect linked to Kenyan flag desecration. So apparently somebody is arrested because of that.
Yeah.
Also, public hospitals gasping for breath amid financial woes and staff shortage. I mean, it just doesn't get any easier.
Yeah, it doesn't
Back-
stop.
It doesn't stop. Back to back to back to back. IEBC shuts doors on boundary review before 2027 election. We know that that's supposed to take place. Also, that's the headline that we see on some other headlines as well. So there's an inquiry. Remember the Kian Jokoma brothers?
Yeah.
The two brothers who died. There was an inquest into what happened and whether the 6 police officers who were then arrested and for who there was, questions about how they were involved in this. The inquest now is showing that they died from severe head injuries. One of the witnesses says that, and of course now into the trial, the witness who the court said would not be named for safety reasons said both bodies had fragmental skull fractures, which could not have been the case had they fallen from a moving vehicle. So these were inflicted either by an object or by hands. Sad. So that inquest into now a trial is what is currently sitting. Kenya could lose Mara ecosystem in 10 years. Allah. Land use changes are the biggest drivers of the threat, according to Professor Joseph Agutu. And you could see that as you use land for things like agriculture and such, this ecosystem that you're trying to conserve could actually be lost. All right. So those are some of the things that we're looking into. Also, you want to tell us what's on the Nairobian?
Nairobian. So on the page, on the... How MP snatched hubby and property, co-wife from hell. Now, court papers reveal that Ketwa Ruguru stormed the family's matrimonial home, sprinkling some liquid on the floor and declaring she was casting out demons in an attempt to drive her rival out. The former MP is accused of orchestrating a divorce and convincing Peter Waweru to secretly transfer 6 prime properties, including family home in Mombasa and Nairobi, leaving the first wife of over a decade and 3 young daughters in the court. That has been expounded in pages 4 and 5. And we also have calling shots, super rich women changing sponsor culture. What does that really mean? Shall look at that a little bit later. And border from economic lifeline to deadly beast. And that is a picture of how accidents happen on our roads, and many of them caused by border. And how Kenyan queens stamped the authority in Tokyo. And in there we see the Kenyan queens enjoying themselves. That is Kenya's Faith Kipyegon with Beatrice Chebet at the end of women's 5,000 meters final. Just got to give it to these ladies, man. They just did the country proud and continue to fly the Kenyan flag high. Those are the stories that we have on the Nairobian. We shall be looking deeper into them a little bit later. But let's go to, you want to start with the story that you're looking into?
All right, so let me tell you the story that makes its way into the Standard this morning. And this one about the courts, because the things that we do every day, the things that you do every day and you think is just normal behavior, well, it's landed a man 1.2 million shillings less. A one-night stand, a WhatsApp message, and a sexually explicit Ohangla video sent by an IT company's chief executive officer to a female employee following a night out have cost his firm 1.2 million shillings. That thing that you think you do innocently, let me tell you. The employee told the Employment and Labour Relations Court that she was forced to resign after alleged rape and sexual harassment by the CEO of Power IT Solutions Limited, coupled with a salary reduction and unfair treatment after reporting the matter. Although the executive denied raping her while she was tipsy, Judge Stella Ruto found that the woman's decision to seek medical attention the same night, coupled with the CEO's incriminating message, led to the conclusion that she was actually telling the truth. The judge ruled that the WhatsApp video, which contained sexual innuendos in its English translation, crossed professional boundaries, regardless of the CEO's claim that it was humor, and that he had also sent it to his wife and others. Okay. The text messages sent by the first respondent to the claimant, when considered along the definition of sexual harassment, led me to conclude that they constitute sexual harassment, according to Justice Ruto. The incident occurred on January 14th, 2023 at the Orchid Club in Nairobi. The employee testified that the CEO raped her at the RFUEA grounds car park as she went to receive her bag from the backseat of his car, retrieve her bag, from the backseat of his car. She said she was tipsy, unable to fight back or scream. She narrated that her colleague, whom she was to share a taxi with, found her after waiting at the entrance of the club's grounds, distressed and in tears. Her colleague accompanied her to St. Peter's Hospital in Muthiga, but she was turned away for lack of a police report and a P3 form. She said she was hesitant to record a statement, given that she was still distressed, but the following day she sought treatment at Coptic. hospital. The claimant told the court she endured the trauma silently at first, fearing the financial insecurity of losing her job in a tough economy. She later sought help from the organization's Usikimye after receiving further inappropriate memes and texts from the CEO. So even after this day, allegedly, the CEO continued to send her these messages. And she said, Hapana, I cannot. Now, if you look at the story at a glance, Justice Ruto found that the CEO's action formed worst kind of gender-based violence at the workplace. She also ruled that his actions made the female employees leave her employment. Power IT Solutions was required by law to ensure that its workplace was free of sexual harassment and gender-based violence. The female employee did not need to prove beyond doubt that she was raped because she had the messages and then also the behavior thereafter.
Also, she sought treatment.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. It is highly probable that the sexual encounter was not consensual. The kind of language he used after was not humor. One night stand and her subsequent response leave no doubt that the CEO was referring to a sexual encounter with her. His first message to her was just too inappropriate to send to a junior employee. So based on all of this, the judge said, I don't need anything else. And if we can look at what we see in messages that you have kept, this is how I'm going to rule. So compensation, number one, and asked to do certain things. The CEO claimed that the choice of his language was meant to make her open up about what she had said happened on the night of January 13th. He alleged that they were driving to the club. She touched his ears and head inappropriately, and that he felt awkward knowing he was a married man. Nevertheless, he said that he assumed she was intoxicated and that she had drunk alcohol at the office. He claimed that his wife joined them at the club around midnight and they continued making merry until 2 a.m. where people started to leave. According to him, his colleagues, including the complainant, also decided to leave. As they were leaving, he said that she requested to pick her laptop bag, which she had left in his car. He alleged she behaved inappropriately towards him, wrapping her hands around his waist, but assumed she needed help walking down the stairs, and she appeared to be intoxicated. So when they reached the car, he claimed she had asked him to help her retrieve her bag, which was at the back seat of his car. According to him, she then proceeded to enter the car, and instead of picking up her bag, she sat in the car. He further claimed that he had asked her to go pick up her bag and she wanted to get back to the club where his wife was waiting for him. Remember, they had said they were leaving. Yeah. Anyway, the man said that at some point he entered the car in an attempt to plead with her to pick up her bag and leave, but she apparently started touching and fondling him. He said he was startled, he was shocked. Allah, what's happening here? This is very, come on, stop it. And immediately he left the car. The female colleague who had been waiting for him appeared shortly afterwards. She ran after him. Justice Ruto, however, said, stop it. She found his account inconsistent. Even me, I'm finding it inconsistent now as we're reading it here. And she said, you know what? You need to stop it. And he noted that the woman had a post-rape case, care form rather, to corroborate her testimony. She says, I highly doubt that the claimant would make a fun trip to St. Peter's in Muthiga in the wee hours of the morning because she was bored. So, on a balance of probability, this court is persuaded that there was a sexual encounter between the claimant and the first respondent and that it was not consensual.
Then again, if you also look at the text message of the one-night stand that was sent to this woman, why would you send such a message to someone who you did not have a sexual encounter with? I mean, that text alone ties
Why
you down.
Text her? Exactly. Text her? And then continue to text her later.
Yeah, or Hangla music that touches a borders line on sexual... I mean, bro, do better.
Come on.
And then your wife was there.
Ati.
And you are leaving. And then you were startled. Oh my God, aliniguza masikio, and now I feel some type of way.
It's inappropriate.
Kata masikio.
Wow, okay.
Iache kushikwa.
Moving on.
Yeah, so there's this story and the Daily Nation, yeah? 4 seized as detectives probe puzzle of woman's body delivered in parcel. Detectives in Muranga have arrested 4 people after a taxi driver Wednesday delivered a woman's body disguised as a parcel to Kangari police station. In custody so far are the victim's estranged husband, 2 of her sons, and the taxi driver. The dead woman was yesterday identified by relatives as Hannah Wanjiku, 53-year-old mother of 6. Her sister, Miss Mary Kiru said Wanjiku had suffered gender-based violence and had fled her matrimonial home. My late sister had 3 children out of wedlock, whom she left in the care of our parents in Kamukabi village before getting married in Mairi. Ms. Kiru said she later had 3 more children, now aged 22, 20, and 19. In the past 3 months, Ms. Kiru added her sister had left her matrimonial home in Mairi and rented a house in Jiri's village, where she worked as a casual laborer in tea plantations. We received a report Tuesday that she had been murdered and packed as a parcel in transit, she said. Now, Kigumo Sub-County Police Commander Hassan Bashir confirmed that 4 suspects are assisting with investigations. The taxi driver drove into Kangari Police Station and narrated to our officers how he had been hired on September 23rd to deliver a neatly wrapped parcel to a contact in Kangari town, said Mr. Bashir. Now, the driver, who operates public transport between Makomboki Market and Kangari Town, said he was approached by a middle-aged man wearing a hoodie and carrying luggage. The driver said the man asked whether I could deliver the parcel to a contact who would be waiting in Kangari Town. I helped the man load the luggage onto the carrier of my car. After he paid me in cash, I drove off, leaving him behind. I had been told that the recipient of the luggage would be waiting outside a non-business premises, but when I arrived, there was no one. I asked around, but no one showed any interest in the luggage. My customer had assured me that he had shared my car's number plates with the recipient, who was supposedly awaiting. After waiting for about an hour, he grew suspicious. The taxi driver said he panicked when he realized he had neither the customer's contact nor those of the recipient. Now, according to reports, when the taxi driver tried to unload the parcel from the carrier, it emerged to be that he needed help, prompting several officers to assist. That is when the grim details began to unfold. The package was unusually heavy and emitted an odor that attracted flies. It had been wrapped in several layers. Now, the murder suspects, police later moved the body to Githum Hospital mortuary pending postmortem. In a twist, officers promptly arrested the taxi driver as murder suspects to assist with investigations. Now, postmortem findings will shed light on how the woman died, while forensic analysis will help identify anyone who may have come into contact with the luggage, Mr. Bashir said. Now, the taxi driver, who is in custody, will also help to establish whether the woman's death, the husband or either of her 2 sons recruited him to deliver the parcel.
Wow. What are we saying? We're essentially saying a husband and his 2 sons were involved in the murder and packaging like a parcel of this woman.
Yeah. Because remember, the woman had 3 kids before, then got married to this man and had 3 other kids who were aged between 20 and 19 to 22. So it is alleged 2 of these man's sons killed her.
Okay, I hope we're still, dancing in the arena of the alleged.
Where, like, if leave alone even in terms of as the police continue with that, I ask the question: when did we get here that we no longer respect life? That you can kill someone, go ahead and package them, carry the body for kilometers, put it behind a vehicle and have it transported and dropped somewhere. And you're still walking around thinking life will continue as normal.
No, man. No.
Tulikosea wapi?
I don't... To even narrate it or to even think that could be the case is very bothersome. And that this is where we are in life.
And remember, this is not the first case, because remember of the individual who killed several women in Nairobi. We've seen such happen. The lady whose bodies are found, body parts are found in the cemetery.
Quarry. Oh, no, the cemetery.
The cemetery.
From Quarry,
yeah. Then we have the Quarry murders that happened as well. I mean, it's one too many deaths in the country and happening in the most gruesome manner. And man, I'm asking myself the question, when did we get here?
Yeah, blood is crying, though.
Yeah.
And if you see some of the things that are happening in society, you don't be surprised that blood is crying and that we've lost the respect for the sanctity of life. to the point whereby, for whatever reason, if somebody harms you, gone are the days when somebody harms you and you use words to deal with an issue.
Yeah.
Now we're saying take away life.
Take away life.
And what if somebody doesn't harm you? Even if somebody is a threat to you, we see the next action is to take away their life. No, man, we can't. We're spiraling into this abyss. And to then be able to get out of it is going to be a very, very tall order.
Yeah.
We need a reset of our value system. We do.
Because I believe even if someone has wronged you so much, there is always the option of walking away. You could always ask for help to handle
Divorce
that.
her.
Divorce
Leave
her.
her.
Leave
Come
her.
on.
Let life
Don't kill her.
continue. Yeah.
If what we're saying allegedly happened, then, oh my God, there are better ways to handle things.
There are.
My goodness.
There are. Like, there's always a way to solve issues. It doesn't have to get here. It shouldn't get here.
It shouldn't.
It shouldn't.
It's just very heavy to think that's a solution that we're saying that people are going towards. So all of you are wondering why IEBC, I'm sorry, I mean, that story, sometimes we need to just, it'll be interesting to see what that case unfurls to be. But it's very, very unsettling and worrying that is a direction that we've taken for some things. Okay, so why will IEBC not change boundaries before the 2027 polls? Let me tell you. It's unlikely to head into 2027 general election without a review of the electoral boundaries. Rather, Kenya is likely to head into the 2027 general election without a review of electoral boundaries. The constitutionally mandated exercise, which redraws constituencies and wards to reflect population changes, now faces delays and uncertainty. It usually happens every 10 years. The boundary review is among the most politically sensitive undertakings in the electoral cycle, as it determines whether constituencies are split, merged, or scrapped, with direct consequences for political representation and careers. So if that happens, then okay, so me who was a representative of a ward, if my ward no longer exists, I can't run again? Or will I now contest for the bigger one? Yeah. Or if you were in a constituency that then no longer exists or it's merged with another one, do we then now duke it out for, the leadership of that one? And it goes across board. So that's essentially what happens. And then populations, if they're dwindling, do you now merge them to become one area that covers? Those are the things that you look at in a boundary review. The last review was carried out in 2012. Then, when 27 constituencies fell short of the minimum population threshold, they were protected to save them from abolition. Then lawmakers, whose approval was required, refused to endorse their removal. Since then, population growth has raised the average constituency quota calculated by dividing the national population by the constitutionally fixed 290 constituencies. So according to the Constitution, we're going to have 290. You're not going to go beyond that. If that is to change, you're going to have to go to referendum and change that. Yeah. This means that if the formula were applied strictly today, even more constituencies would fall below the threshold, putting them at risk of being scrapped. In fact, based on the 2019 census, the IEBC last year flagged at least 40 constituencies are failing to meet the population requirement. You must be of a certain population to then be deemed as a constituency. 40 currently are below that. The IEBC chairperson, Erastus Ethekon, yesterday told the National Assembly's Constitutional Implementation Oversight Committee that the Commission simply cannot complete the delimitation exercise before the 2027 polls. He's basically saying there's no time. The process, he said, requires 2 to 3 years, a timeline already rendered impossible by constitutional deadlines that have lapsed, such as you have constituencies that don't have members of parliament because of certain reasons. You've not done by-elections. Those will happen this year on 27th of November. But it only leaves you 1 year then for boundary review. That's not going to happen. He says it's a constitutional crisis that requires MPs who hold the sovereign power of the state to do something about it. He described the exercise as emotionally charged and noting that the immense political pressure and legal hurdles that the IEBC faces. So he's saying with all of these things put together, it is going to be impossible for us to hold a boundary review before 2027. Already, remember what we're looking at is that about 40 constituencies currently are unconstitutional, that they don't meet the population requirement or the standard, so those should actually be scrapped, merged with other constituencies. But they don't even have the time to do that, and they don't have the time to review others to say that, are we going to expand, reduce, scrap? So that's not going to happen. So right now, all the constituencies that you have, you can go ahead essentially and say that you're going to have the election with the constituencies as they are currently constituted. Not going to change. Sorry.
But then again, you see, when you talk about, you have about 40 constituencies that are unconstitutional as you speak due to population. What then does that mean to the people who will be representing the individuals in those offices? Because remember, this constituency is unconstitutional as read, as described by the law. So if you go to election, are we not staring at a situation where we are creating a loophole for litigation, for individuals to go to court to say these 40 constituencies are unconstitutional according to the requirements of the Constitution?
Absolutely.
So then again, why are we not looking at a position where, for us to avoid litigation later, deal with the matter now so that we know how many constituencies we have according to the Constitution and just move?
They don't have time.
You know,
The process needs 3 years. But you should also be asking the question, why didn't it happen between 2012 and 2024? Yeah.
Oh.
Why didn't it happen? Why didn't we do it then? Yeah.
Because there is 2012 to 2024. And then remember, when we talk about, we've had IEBC before. We had the chairperson of IEBC, Mr. Chibukati, in office, and they were working throughout. So then, why didn't they do this then? Because remember, as much as the leadership, one would say the commission has changed faces, but the commission has remained. There's no day that IEBC stopped existing in the country. It's only those in these offices who keep on changing. That means this exercise ought to have continued anyway.
Absolutely. It should have. I don't know. It just seems as though we are just doing things like...
Yeah, we're doing things, and the Constitution of Kenya, unfortunately, seems to individuals, some people in this country, as a suggestion and not the supreme law of the land. And until that time when we uphold the Constitution, we respect the Constitution and implement the Constitution and live by the tenets of the Constitution, only then will we realize the greatness that the Constitution has given the people of Kenya.
Indeed, it's true. We're coming to the top of the hour. Let me tell you the story about a 17-year-old boy who's been arrested in connection with disrespecting the Kenyan flag. The DCI has announced in a statement that the DCI said the suspect, Ibrahim Haider Yusuf, was among the individuals seen in a viral video and has been sought since September 20th, 2025. The incident occurred during a football match, between Mogadishu City Club and Police FC, where two individuals were captured on camera desecrating the national flag. The DCI described the act as both unlawful and deeply offensive to the values upheld as a nation. He went on to say that any person who shows disrespect in speech, manner, or writing to or with reference to the national anthem or to any specified emblem, specified likeness, or specified name, or any representation thereof shall be guilty of an offense. The state's statement read in part. It added, efforts to arrest the remaining individuals who believed to be within the country are ongoing. Somali ambassador to Kenya on Wednesday, Jabril Ibrahim Abdullah, described the actions as regrettable and confirmed the authorities were investigating the matter for possible action. So that's what it looks like.
No, let me tell you. You see, today, if you pass outside any building and the police officers are lowering the flag, there is always the whistle.
You have to stand.
You have to stand because you respect that flag. I grew up at a point where that always had to happen. We were taught on the importance of the Constitution, the loyalty pledge, the anthem. These are things that were instilled in us. It is so heartbreaking that one would just wake up and start desecrating the flag.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how that story plays out. Let's look at more that's happening. Let's talk about food when we come in at 7. Good morning. It's 7 a.m.
The latest news from around. This is the Situation Room.